Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to our channel. Tonight's a special night. We have Ben for Bikes, Beers, and Brews on tonight. We're going to find out the truth all about him. We're going to dig right in. But before we do, I want to say hello to everybody in the side chat. Corey, HCA Traveler, Frogzilla, Truckin' Biker, Bry the Biker, Gliding on Twos, Roadie Rider, Tweedle D, Moto Noggin, he's in here. Let's see, HDAV Travel, hello, Jack. Salty Bagger, Ben Spellman, hello. Roadie Riders, I think I already said you. If I missed you, I apologize. Robert Bacuccio, Toby Northern's in here. Hello and welcome. So without any further ado, shall we bring in the one and only, never to be duplicated nor imitated, because he's one of a kind, Mr. Ben. What is going on, Ben?
Hi. What's going on?
You know, I knew tonight's going to be a fun night and a funny night, and the way you come in, I just gets it right off to a top level, you know? So, you know, tonight's all about you, you know, and I got some questions
going to be
for
so
you.
many disappointed people.
Well, I mean, life is full of disappointments. Let's get used to them and really get people out there disappointed tonight. So might as well start off with, you disappointing everybody and then me. So
nailing it. All right.
Hey, why not? So how long have you been riding?
I have been riding, I don't know, probably about, I want to say about 15 years by now. I don't know.
Oh, cool. Right on. Well, do you remember what your first bike was, or were you just too drunk and stupid back then?
So this is kind of like a two-part answer. I knew I wanted to learn how to ride. So I found a basket case on Craigslist. It was like an 86 or an 87 Yamaha Sika. I live on the North Shore of Massachusetts. This was way down the South Shore. I called up one of my friends with a truck. We drove down there. Dude sold me two Yamaha Sikas. One he was kind of converting into a sport bike, and one that was like the parts he was picking off, and then a bunch of like milk crates of parts. So we picked that up. We brought it back to my buddy's house. We started like putting the thing back together. The thing was garbage. The only way to get it running was to spray starter fluid into it. It had no brakes. My buddy lived on a dead end sort of cul-de-sac. So I would get the bike all the way to one end. And then on the other end, it basically ended at a intersection that had a ton of traffic. So I would start on one end, I would just gas it and I'd ride through, and then like maybe a few hundred feet before the traffic, I would just like use sneaker power to try and stop the bike before I got murdered in traffic.
Yeah. Flintstoned it.
Yeah. And then as I was rebuilding that, I got a call one day that was like it was from my uncle I've never talked to. And he was like, hey, you know your dad that you've never really met? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, oh, well, he died. Do you want to come by his house and see if there's anything you need? And I was like, I guess so. I went by his house, and he was a handyman. He had an 84 Honda Nighthawk in his shed.
I remember those.
Yeah, he replaced all the seals, replaced everything. So it was in perfect condition. It just needed a key and new tires. So I did that, and that was my first bike. That's what I learned to really ride on. And then I moved to a Ninja 600.
Nope, I had one of those.
Yeah, I had that for probably about 10 years. And then I moved to Harleys, and that's where I've been since.
What was your first Harley?
My first Harley was a 2013 Wide Glide.
Nice. And now you got that beautiful Road Glide that you did a lot of work to. And I remember seeing that in New Jersey at the Beards and Brews event. And I was videoing it, and you're like, hey, don't show the bike in your video because I have to do an unveil. And I'm like,
well, no,
no worries.
don't show the engine yet, because I just went to a 124 and I didn't mention that at all in videos. So like and honestly, I don't think I've mentioned it yet either. So yes, my bike is a 124 now. It's been that way since the summer.
Nice, nice. I have right now in the OR, which is my shop, I have a 2023 Road Glide ST with a 135 in it.
Nice.
Yeah, it's not mine. It's my brother Mike's. But we're doing some work to it, a whole bunch of custom dynamics lighting. I'm going to do some powder coating, you know, and just making it his own.
Ask him why he went with such a small engine.
Well, because there wasn't anything smaller. I mean,
Well,
honestly, I think he went with that because he got tired of me blowing his doors off with a stock 117 and Spaceball.
Well, so the thing is, there's a company down in Arizona called Leading Edge, and they actually make a 159 cubic inch.
Holy cow. Is that streetable?
Yes. There's a few regulations, like, there's a few restrictions for Leading Edge. They will not ship you the engine. You have to bring the bike to them. They will powder coat the engine for you. They will let you pick your cams. They will do all that stuff. But they have to be the ones that install it.
Okay. Well,
if you want it warranted.
Well, his small 135 is covered under the extended service plan because he bought the motor with the bike.
Yep.
So, he rides all over the country a lot. So if he ever breaks down, he can go to any Harley dealer and it's covered.
I'd be curious to see how well that 135 holds up. I know they had a lot of issues with the 131. And I think this is something, like, I've brought it up many times before, and it's you should really build your bike for what you're doing. So if he's doing a lot of cross country, I mean, honestly, the 131, the 135, they're not really meant to be touring engines. They're meant to be like performance engines. So sitting there at like 80, 90 miles an hour for like a day.
Yeah, well, but that's beautiful because it's covered under warranty for 5 years.
This is true. Although that's another thing I've always worried about, because it's like, even if I have the warranty, kind of sucks when the thing's broken down and I can't ride it.
Well, yeah, that is. So Toby says he thought your first Harley was an Indian.
Well, so I don't know if Toby's actually referencing this, but this is a true story. So for the last 2 years, Indian has an ambassador program. Actually, Ricky Bobber is part of it. And every year they open it up for you to apply to become an ambassador of Indian motorcycles. And for the last 2 years, I've applied with my 2018 pre-production Indian Challenger. And they refused to respond to me. So I'm just going to keep trying.
There you go. There you go. But all right. So you got this your Road Glide, and that's what, a 2020, is it?
2018.
2018. With the 124 build in it. And you drove that out till Milwaukee for the 120th.
Yes.
I remember seeing you at the Suspension Technologies booth.
Yep.
We hung out. I had a great time. Hopefully you did too.
Oh yeah, I did as well.
And and then you rode it all the way home. And I was watching your video afterwards, and you were like, "Why would I want to ride this far? This is insane. I must be crazy, or am I stupid?" I'm sitting there going, "I think you're fine, man."
It's funny because, like, I've got friends around here that ride as well, and I'm like, "Hey, I'm going on a road trip," and they're like, "Nah, man," and they're like, "Why?" And they're like, "We see how you do road trips," and it's like, like when I do the 1K in a day and stuff, I'm not doing it as like a bragging thing. I do it because I don't like to stop until I get to my destination. So it's like, and a lot of my destinations happen to be 1,000 miles away. So I'm like, all right, I'm getting up at 2 a.m. and I'm riding until I get there.
Yeah. And, sometimes that's what you got to do. And, I'm the same way when I'm going on a road trip. One, I'm excited about the road trip because you get all the experiences and all the excitement and the adventure of the road trip while you're on it, even though it might be all highway, but there's still the experiences, the stories, and everything that you have for the rest of your life to tell
Oh,
on
for
certain
sure.
road trips, you know? And to me, that's a big part of motorcycling is getting out there and doing your thing, which is get out there, ride your motorcycle, enjoy it, go on these road trips and experience America around you, and then start venturing out further and further and further.
Pretty much. I mean, for me, it's just like uh, my bike is an excuse for me to go do dumb road trips. That's really what it is, and I categorize all my stuff as just really dumb road trips because most of the stuff I'm doing is dumb.
Well,
It's
it can't be any, you can't reach the level of stupidity like I did in 2010, where I decided one morning on a Wednesday morning, I'm going to ride out to Sturgis on my 93 Softail with a Badlander seat and 18-inch bars, and this was 2010.
so after that, your spine was compressed.
Yep, yep. I bruised my kidneys.
Had
I
that
did
shoulder
no
surgery.
riding out there because I was just way too sore, and just couldn't do it. And when it came time to leave, I was like, oh man, just want to ship this thing home and fly home and be comfortable. But nope, I had to get home with my bike because I was a prospect in the club and I needed to be there for an event.
Well, and I mean, honestly, that's the best way to ride through things. I mean, a lot of times, like when I went to Milwaukee and stuff, I had a hotel booked, I had stuff booked, I needed to be there. I didn't have an option to stop somewhere halfway, so I had to ride. And even going home, I spent most of that 1,000 miles going through rainstorms
Yeah,
because I had to be at work the next day. I
yeah,
didn't, and I was already in the negative for vacation time, so I could not not show.
right, right. Like my next big road trip is when I retire in 7 years. I'm going to jump on my bike and I'm going to ride out to, I think it's uh, Detroit or Chicago or wherever the beginning of Route 66 is at mile zero. And I'm going to ride that all the way down to Santa Monica.
Um, Mr. McStash just rode that,
Yeah.
and the one thing I didn't realize that he actually mentioned in his video a few times, Route 66 does not exist as a complete road anymore.
Nope. It cuts on highways and off the highways and things like that in certain areas. And then on the way back, I'm going to take my time getting back because I'm going to do everything on Hawaiian time.
Oh, there you go.
You know what Hawaiian time is?
No idea.
The Hawaiian time is we get there when we get there.
Oh, that makes sense.
And one of the things will be, I'll get up in the morning. It's raining. All right, let's order in room service and try again tomorrow. That's going to be my attitude on that whole trip.
I need a trip like that because now I'm like, it's raining. Well, I got to go anyway.
Yeah.
The first time I went to the Friday the 13th camp down in Georgia, I had to leave on, I think it was like a Monday or Tuesday. We had no option of staying, and there was a tropical storm. And they're like, well, sorry, you got to go. And I ended up driving through a tropical storm for, I think, right up the Georgia border. And then I finally, my bike was sputtering out and stuff. I'm like, all right, I need to get a hotel.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, I was just reading Sidetrack, trying to keep up with it. And it's all interesting comments and conversations going on. Yeah. So you got your bike. When did you buy your current bike?
I bought it in 2018. So
2018. So you bought it new.
yeah, I bought it right off the floor. So when I first decided I wanted to go to a cruiser, I originally wanted to go to Victory. Had a Victory picked out. I knew what I wanted and all that, and then Victory folded. So I was like, well, I guess, I'm not getting a Victory. And I didn't really care which brand I went with, so it wasn't like, okay, now it's Harley. Harley was kind of at the bottom of my list. I had an agreement with the wife. It was, before we got married. So she's like, well, you can get a cruiser after we get married, and, that stuff's all settled. I'm like, cool. So we got married. And I'm like, cool, I'm going to get a cruiser now. She's like, well, no, we got to do this and then this. And then, and like, she kept changing. I'm like, well, that wasn't the deal. So,
Well, I mean, that's a good reason to get married, to get a cruiser.
pretty much. Well, so she went down to see her sister in Arizona one weekend, and I went and I just started looking at bikes, and I saw the Wide Glide, and it was actually exactly what I wanted. So I'm chatting with her back and forth. She's like, what are you up to? I'm like, oh, I'm at this dealership. And she's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm buying a bike. And, she's like, what? I'm like, hey, we had a deal. And then when it came time for the Road Glide, she was back down seeing her sister in Arizona again, and we're chatting. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, oh, I'm over at Boston Harley. She's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm buying a Road Glide. After that, like, she has not been to see her sister since then. I think she's just afraid I'm going to buy another bike.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. But you put a lot of work into it. I mean, besides the motor build, if you guys haven't seen his bike was the center point of the thumbnail. It's got some amazing body work on like the derby cover, the center dash, the powder coating on it is phenomenal. It's a beautiful bike, and it's been beautifully done. And I know you're not done with it yet.
I'm running out of stuff to do.
Oh, come on! There's always more stuff to do.
There
But
is.
What is the next upgrade you're thinking of doing or planning of doing?
I might add some fog lights.
I've been toying with that idea too, because some of these roads and highways are just too goddamn dark.
Yeah. I mean, my headlight is very bright, but I mean, some of the twistier roads and stuff, some of the stuff that I end up getting into, it would be good to have like some fog lights that are sitting a little bit lower to the ground and stuff like that. So I'm looking at that right now.
Now, I'm looking at the fog lights from Custom Dynamics. I don't know if you looked at those yet. They go on your engine guard.
I haven't looked at too much from Custom Dynamics. I tend to do mostly Zero 3D.
Okay.
And
there's also another good company.
Yeah, there's a couple other things that, like, I mean, my headlight is Electric Lighting Company. I do have Custom Dynamics directionals up front, and that's because they had the smallest, lowest profile, brightest ones I could find.
Yep.
So
I have the same ones.
Yeah, so I like there's nothing against Custom Dynamics. I just personally I don't like the way their rear lights look as much as like Zero 3D.
Yeah. And that's what it comes down to, is your style, your preference, and the company you like to deal with. I mean, seriously, I mean, that's why they make chocolate and vanilla.
Yep.
And I even said it to Mike, the owner of Suspension Technologies.
Mike's great.
Yeah, he's awesome. I had him on my live, and we're talking about the different shock manufacturers because someone was asking, and I said, well, there's plenty of meat on the bone for everybody. Not one company could dominate the industry. You just can't. And he agrees that there's plenty of meat on the bone for everybody. Yep. And I put Suspension Technologies on my bike this year. You've had them quite a few years.
Yeah, so I kind of take credit for the Suspension Technologies trend. So I was up at Laconia Harley for Bike Week one year, and they were there. And I was talking to them, and I wanted suspension that year. So Mike was there. I looked right at Mike, and I said, okay, Legends is right over there. I know who Legends is. I've never heard of you. Why should I get your shocks instead of those guys right across the parking lot with the same price? And I mean, like, ask Mike, he'll tell you that is exactly like verbatim what I said to him, point blank. and Mike was very cordial about all the other suspension. Like, you know, he didn't trash any other company, which I absolutely loved.
Yep.
As soon as you start like slinging mud at the other guy, I've pretty much lost respect for your company. But he was like, you know, hey, they do make a great suspension. Like Olin's makes a great suspension. Here's what makes ours different. And he went into the details. And then he's like, you know, here's my business card. If you know you ever have issues with them, you can call me day or night. I will do what I can, like, to help you. I'll replace them. And like, you know, he went into a lot of detail, and I was like, all right, man, I'm going to give you a shot. And I absolutely loved him. And then I did like the reviews on him and stuff like that. And then Hell's on Two Wheels reached out to me, and he asked me about suspension technologies, and I told him everything I knew. And then he went and got him. And then he was like, you know, singing their praise from the tops of the mountains and stuff. And I think now he's a reseller for them.
Yes.
Everyone I've brought up there. In fact, there's guys in this chat that I've converted over to suspension technologies, and they love them. So yeah, suspension technologies, they know this as well. So like when you saw me at the tent, it's because they were texting me back and forth. And they're like, yeah, just bring your bike over, park it right in front of our tent and all this stuff. You always have a space with us.
Yeah, right on.
If you look at the Harley 120 magazine that came out afterwards, there's a picture of suspension technologies, and I'm in that picture with them.
Yeah.
I tried to get out of the way, and Mike's like, no, get in here. You're part of the family. I'm like, all right, man.
Yeah. Mike's a great dude. He really is.
Oh,
I'm looking forward to their soft tail suspension coming out in about a month. I'm getting it done while I'm down in Daytona, and Hells is going to supposedly be putting it in, and I'm going to heckle him all the way through it.
That's the way to do it.
So what got you started in YouTube?
Well, I was bored.
You were bored? Okay.
I mean, that was based. So like, I definitely have some like ADHD going on. So,
No.
yeah. So I do IT and I find that, like, you know, motorcycle videos and stuff help me focus. So back in the day, like when I set up computers and stuff, I'd have like YouTube going, and I'd be listening to like John Maxwell. I listened to Shade Tree Surgeon back in the day, stuff like that. A couple other motor vloggers when they were still decent. Now they're horrible trash, so I'm not going to mention their names. But you know, there were like videos that I watched that I liked, and I was like, you know, I'd like to try my hand at this. So I got a couple GoPros, and I just kind of dove in.
Yeah, as a matter of fact, I used to watch John Maxwell religiously. Put videos out every Wednesday, right at noontime.
Yep.
And you know, I religiously watched them every Wednesday at noon. And then I remember when he started his own shop, he says, "I'll have more time to do more content. I'll have more time for this." And I'm sitting there going, "No, you won't." Nice try, but you won't. And
just to answer Bry the biker over there, yes, I do watch Fly and Ride. I have to watch him. I can't listen to him because his pipes are so quiet.
And hey, Monkey's in the house. Hello, Monk.
What's up, Monkey?
And you know, and when he stopped doing his videos, I'm sitting there going, I wrench in my garage all the time. I could do this. And I was watching Monkey back then, and I actually reached out to him, and I asked him for any suggestions for camera equipment, things like that. And he said to me, GoPro, you can't go wrong. Just getting started. That would be the best camera to get started with. And I was surprised he answered me back, because I was just, you know, a fanboy for him. And, you know, come to find out, he's a salt of the earth kind of guy. I love him to death. And, you know, and then that's how I got started. But I'm always curious how other people got started. So you got started out of boredom.
And it's also like it's guys like Pro Monkey there that I think help along like a lot of the newer guys too.
Absolutely.
I had a similar thing actually with Cycle Fanatics. I think I had like maybe 300 followers at the time. I saw him at Laconia Bike Week one year. And I was like, hey man, I watch your channel. Like, I have this super micro channel that no one watches. Like, but I just want to come over here and say hi to you. And he's like, oh, cool. And then he pulls me in, whips out his camera, and he's like, this is Ben from Bike Beards and Brews. Go subscribe to his channel. And I got a bunch of subscribers from that. And I've always had respect for John ever since then, and I've seen him help other people the exact same way.
Yep.
So it's like, I think it's great. And I anytime somebody messages me asking me questions about cameras, advice on anything, I always take the time out of my day to kind of pay that forward the same way some of these other guys did it for me.
Absolutely. And our community, because that's what it is, it's our community. The motorcycle community within YouTube is so small, and there's so many of us, that what I found is the majority of the people in our community want to help each other out instead of trying to trash and be a big competition. And and that's what I like about it.
Yeah, and I mean, I definitely enjoy people that have a sense of humor, have a thick skin, like we were talking about earlier. People you can kind of mess around with are always fun. I mean, over in your chat, you got Truck and Biker, UCM Pigs. We're in a chat group together, and I think 90% of the chat is just us making fun of each other. And
absolutely.
No one's taking offense to it. No one's signing off going, that guy's a fucking jerk, I'm gonna get him. It's always, we realize it's just fun. It's just straight fun.
Oh, see, Toby Northern says he used to watch you all the time, and then you stopped Grind My Gear series, and he was done.
So the funny thing is I have made no allusion to the fact that since day one I hated doing Grinds My Gears. I made the first one as a joke, as a one-off throwaway that I didn't think anybody would actually care about, and for the longest time it was my biggest video, and it was making fun of the Rorock 3.0. And after that I just kept making them, and people enjoyed them. Some of them I enjoyed making, they were fun, but overall I mainly made those because I knew people enjoyed them. They were fun. They were easy to make. I could bust one out really easy every week. But I think one of the biggest issues I had were there's way too many people that are way too stupid to realize that those videos were just jokes. They weren't meant to be taken seriously. I had people with CVOs getting super butthurt. I did the whatever that cruise ship rally is. I made fun of that, and
a high seas rally
within a 50-mile range was blowing up my chat.
Yep. And you know what though? And if they don't get the fact that you're doing it for fun, then they need to get over it. I did a review on the love jugs, and I took a scientific approach to it with, measuring head temperatures on the left and right side before the love jugs. Had the bike idle for 5 minutes to simulate sitting in the northeast traffic, which as well as I do, northeast traffic, you could be sitting in traffic in the summertime for more than 5 to 10 minutes.
Forever.
Yes. And, and I debunked the love jugs for the Softails, that they don't work. The one side of your head gets cooler, but the other side of your head gets hotter. Which, if you have a piece of metal at two different temperatures, it's not a good thing.
It's going to work.
Yes. And then crack, and then all sorts of problems.
And then you also have to admit that you have something called a love jug on your bike. And I would rather just be broken down the side of the road than say that.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I love jugs.
I love jugs, but I don't love jugs.
Right. So, and I got a lot of comments from people saying my science is off, my brand new laser thermometer is off. I don't know what I'm talking about, and I'm like, hey, thanks for watching.
I my CVO video, I joked around. I straight out said the only two arguments that CVO owners ever use, and it's the only ones they ever have, are you're just mad because you can't afford one, and I get like my resale value is like the same as when I bought it, so I ride for free. And then like all the butthurt comments I had in that video were you're just mad because you can't afford one.
Well, you missed the big thing is when you buy a CVO, you actually sign a contract that whenever you're asked, what do you ride? Oh, I ride a CVO Road Glide. I actually have a CVO Road Glide, and I got it for a really good price last year, and I can't complain. I got a phenomenal deal on trading on my 19, so I mean it cost me $1,000 to own that 19. That's how good of a deal I got on trading.
Hey, that's good.
So, and that's the reason why I got my CVO.
I mean, like I liked stuff like the what was it, the Mako Blue in 2019, and I looked into I came real close to buying it, and I was like, if I buy this thing, I'm gonna have to spend a fortune to do all the stuff I want to do to it anyway. So why am I spending 40 grand on a bike? I'm gonna drop another 10, 20 grand on. So I was like, no, I'm good. I'm all set. Thanks.
Bryce says the same as when you buy a Sportster S. When you sign a contract, you got to tell everybody own a Sportster S, and it's the greatest thing.
No. When you buy a Sportster S, you have to tell everyone that it's faster than other Harleys to try and hide the fact that you're still on a girl's bike.
Right. I mean, if you don't believe us, ask Moto Noggin.
That's the reason why I said it. I know he's in the chat.
Yeah, love you, Noggin. Let's see. Yeah, Monkey hates to chirp as much as I do. I'm so lazy and so busy at the same time. I haven't had a chance to disable my chirp. So
I've not had to deal with it, so I'm fine.
Yeah,
which is funny because
you have any
Doyle actually turned his chirp on.
Yeah, chirp on, chirp off, chirp on, chirp off. The chirper. So, what are your plans for this coming season? Going to rallies or anything like that?
So that goes back to the whole my road trips are just dumb. I don't really plan stuff. I do want to get back down to Georgia. I really enjoy riding with the Blue Bike and Doyle, Doyle from the Blue Bike and Doyle. So if you ever want to ride with somebody who fucking rides, go hit up Doyle. Like that dude is nuts. I don't know if you've ever watched one of his videos, but he's welded like titanium rods to the bottom of his floorboards, and he loves to drag. So he just gets all these white sparks blowing out. The first time I went down to like Georgia and stuff, I met up with him in like North Carolina, and he took me through the Tail of the Dragon. And he's like, oh, let me take you to all these other roads. And like, it was great. Like he came up from his house. Like we hung out for like 2 days. He took me through all these awesome, just like long rides, back roads, stuff like that. Really fun time. And then, escorted me over to the Friday the 13th camp I stayed at. Like, dude was awesome. So like second year we went down, we did it again. And like, he took me to other stuff. Like we did like Moonshiner 28 and Cherahalla Skyway and all that crap. So really fun, dude. I would like to get down there and do that again because he's just awesome. Probably a few trips down to Jersey to mess with like Fly and Ride and stuff like that. Cause like we love to like just kind of like dig on each other all the time. 90% of the time we're just messing with each other on like I use Cobra Neighbor Hater exhaust pipes. He uses Chromeworks. Mm-hmm. So we've just been attacking each other nonstop on who has like the louder, better sounding pipes and all that stuff. So
are you planning on going back down to Baggers and Brews?
I don't know. I haven't looked at the actual date of that. I think I don't know if they want me there. I don't know.
All I gotta say is I want to go, but I pre-committed to Gettysburg. and I
Yeah,
have
I saw
non-refundable deposits for, bed and breakfasts, so I don't want to give that up. And I enjoy going to Gettysburg, not for the rally part of it, but for the history of it.
Yeah, I've been down in that area before, and there's a lot of good history in that area.
Absolutely. Uh, if the wind blows and takes you down to Daytona in March, we'll be there. I'll be there throughout the whole rally. Let me know you're there. We'll hang out. We'll have a good time. I know
I
there'll be a lot of other people down there as well, more than
I
just me.
I'd love to get down to Daytona. The biggest issue I have with Daytona, it's more of a mental thing to me, because in March, when you're coming out of Boston, like there could be 3 feet of snow and ice, or it could be 70. Our weather is just so bipolar like that.
Right.
So it's hard to plan a ride leaving in March to go down to Daytona. I have friends that go down there and they trailer their bikes, and I am so stubborn. I'm like, I ride a touring bike. This should not be on a trailer. I should be touring to the place I want to see.
Well,
So
I'm trailering my bike down. I trailered down last year, but it's being pulled behind a 35-foot RV. So I'm in the house. You know what I mean?
oh, there you go.
It's not my RV. It's my buddy's RV, which is the best RV to have as a friend with an RV.
I don't know. I'm always like, I don't know. My bike has never been on a trailer. Everywhere I've gone, I've ridden there. So like,
Monkey's got the answer. Trailer to North Carolina, unload there, and roll down.
but still, that's 12 hours that I should have been riding.
Well, you've been on the Tail of the Dragon, right?
A couple times, yeah.
So now you need to ride the Florida Dragon.
I don't think the Florida has anything except like straight.
Well, the Florida Dragon is 11 turns and 318 miles.
I don't know if there's even 11 turns. I think
they're called off ramps and on ramps.
Alabama.
They're called off ramps and on ramps.
All right, that works. That's fair. I was watching somebody's video the other day, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the windiest road in Florida." I'm like, "Is it like 3 lefts and a right? Like, what are you doing?"
Yeah, it's called. As Monkey says it, they call it the tail of the gecko.
I mean, that probably accurate. That works.
Hey, Danny D'Lo, how you doing?
Yeah, see, he's got it.
Yeah.
It's almost like, so I'm kind of in that spot where it's like, all right, let's say it's warm in March, and I just go, screw it, I'm riding straight down there. I don't care. Then it's like, I didn't plan far enough ahead, so I don't know if I can get a campground or a hotel room. And then it's like, I don't know what I'm riding back into. So, I mean, up here, it could be like 70 on Monday and like, negative 10 and 3 feet of snow on Friday.
Yep. What's up, Mike Ball? Getting all the heavy hitters in here tonight because of you.
Hey.
Danny D'Lo.
They're landing here by accident. Half these people don't even know me.
Toby Northern. So but you should think about that. That's a good one. This is my second year in a row going. I went down in Daytona first time in 2010, and I went on that Softail. And when I left Connecticut, I said, I can't wait to get south of New Jersey where it starts to get warm. Well, that year was the coldest year for Bike Week ever recorded.
Awesome.
I hit nothing but sleet and freezing rain all the way through North and South Carolina. Georgia was just cold. I mean, I'm talking cold. I'm like 45, 50 degrees. Daytona never hit higher than 55.
Yeah, it doesn't sound fun. No, I mean, that sounds like New England, but
yeah. Last year, we had every day was in the mid to high 80s. There was one day it hit 94, 97, whatever. But it was still a good time. It was still great weather. Still doing some great riding down there. I put 700 miles on the bike when I was down there. So, I mean, you really can't go wrong putting 700 miles on a week at a rally
This is
and
true.
taking part in all the rally stuff.
This is fair.
You know,
I
so
think like I had like Sean from UCM Pigs and stuff up to Laconia last year. We just stopped in real quick, saw everything. I think we got Sean's suspension,
yep,
and then we just took off and we rode the Kangabangas and stuff.
yep, yeah, and you know, he says yes, Biketoberfest is better. This year was I think the last year I'll be in Laconia for a long time. I was highly disappointed in Laconia.
Oh yeah, I mean, for me, it's like it's so close to me. I don't
Yeah,
mind going up there. If I was to recommend people to come up and like experience Laconia, I'd be like, nah, don't do it.
yeah.
Like, I mean, like when UCM Pigs came up and stuff, like first off, I thought it was going to be much better because I was like, it's the 100th anniversary. They gotta be doing something awesome. They put
They
up
advertised it for
instead of
2 years. The 100th anniversary, you got to come back for the 100th anniversary. It's going to be crazy. And the craziest thing is the biggest band they had was Jackal, who wasn't that big back in the 80s, nor
and Lumberjack was an awesome song.
and you see them at every rally if you bother to go see them. I don't.
I do not either.
I mean, I went to a smaller rally in New York in the Catskills at the Blackthorn Resort, and I saw Adelita's Way, Drowning Pool, and Saliva one night, and no extra ticket cost to see them. And then I got to hang out with CJ, the guitarist for Drowning Pool.
Yep.
We're doing shots, we're drinking beers, and we're having a great time.
Oh, that's always good.
Yeah. I mean, hello, Laconia. Take some notes.
Well, so I think what a lot of people don't realize is the people who run Laconia, not the bike fest itself, but Laconia itself, they don't really want the rally there. They kind of tolerate it. That's about it.
Yeah.
In past years, they've done everything they can to try and kill that rally. They actually changed weekends one year without telling anyone. So like people were coming up and they were pissed because they reserved their hotel rooms a year in advance and the campsites and all that stuff. Another year they actually shortened all the vendor permits, so vendors couldn't stay as long as they normally did. So that was killing sales. They started buckling down. Like, when I was a kid, Laconia was the first rally I ever got brought up to. I think I was like 12 or 13, I think. You'd see like pickup trucks driving down the road, like 4 or 5 girls in the back, just like flashing everyone down the road and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh my God, what's going on? This is awesome. And now it's like they've got it so locked down. It's just absolutely insane. And like they really do go out of their way to try and choke out Laconia altogether. And
you can't even walk around with a beer in Laconia.
They've made it clear that they want to be family friendly, and I'm like, it's a bike rally. Calm the fuck down. Like,
exactly.
just let
you know what's going to happen is they're going to kill that rally, and then the town of Laconia is going to sit there and say, "Uh-oh, we lost all this revenue," and all the people who own those hotels and motels and Airbnbs are not making that money, because I could tell you for sure. Hotels, even surrounding Laconia, like in Lincoln and North Conway and Conway, and all that. Normal Holiday Inn rooms are $89 a night normally. During the rally, they're $389 a night.
Yep.
And
that's the thing. Like all the retailers will say straight out that this is like their Black Friday. Like this is that week. Gets them out of debt. They make a fortune.
Yep. All the restaurants and bars and, everybody who has rental property, it rents out their property during that rally. And you know what? They kill that rally, their politicians are going to have to answer that.
Well, if you see, like, so what's happening right now is they're actually kind of splintering it up a little bit. Past years, everything was in like Laconia, like on that main strip, all that stuff. Like everybody was there. If you look at it now, like Harley, Indian, a couple, like at least a dozen vendors or so have all moved all their shit over to one of the speedways that's on the
Yep.
way to Laconia.
Yep.
That was never really a thing before. Like Harley and Indian had their presence in Laconia. They don't do that anymore. They don't bother.
Well, the problem is that dirt lot next to the drive-in theater,
Yep.
that property sold, and there's building condos there now.
Oh yeah.
And who are you going to rent to?
You'll rent to the families that are looking for the family-friendly motorcycle rally.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, if Laconia had its way, I've been saying this for years as well. If Laconia had its way,
Take care, Donna.
all the bikers would show up a couple miles outside of Laconia. They'd shut off their bikes. They'd push them in quietly. They'd sit down in a field. They'd shut the fuck up, hand over a wad of hundreds, be quiet for a week, take their bikes, push them a mile out of this like city, and then start them up and ride away. That would be Laconia's ideal bike week.
Yeah. And that's what it's coming to. And it's sad because it is the longest and oldest rally in the country.
DDK, actually, it's funny. He's like making a slingshot rally. Dude,
Yeah.
I can't tell you. We have so many slingshots now that like they take motorcycle parking. And it's like, dude, you have a car. You have a fucking car with one less wheel that you overpaid for. Go park in the fucking car parking spot and fuck off.
And Daytona, at all the places, it says motorcycle parking, no slingshots.
That's the way it should like read everywhere. Like, congratulations, you bought a fucking tricycle and put a goddamn roof on it, and you're pretending it's a motorcycle. That is the ultimate motorcycle cosplay right there. Like, just cut the shit.
Yeah. And Zen's right. Nobody really likes bikers anymore. They really don't.
Yeah, that's fairly true.
It's nuts. We digress. We got away from what we were talking about and all that. So the future of your channel, where do you see it going? I know you wing it. You got a great personality and camera presence when you do it. Which is, to me, part of your success that you've seen on YouTube. Where do you see the future of your channel going?
I don't. So that's the thing. I've said before, if you try and keep up with the trends, you're always one step behind. Like if you're trying to do what's popular, if you're trying to do all that stuff, if you're trying to get big, you're always one step behind because somebody else is laying the groundwork. For me, I have a real job. I have a big boy job. I get paid a big boy paycheck and that stuff. So I'm not one of these nutsacks who's trying to like pander to every audience to try and get as many views and many likes and all that stuff as possible. That being said, I don't want to, like, I'm not trying to like sync my channel either. Like I've seen people do that and I'm like, oh, what are you doing? You're fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like I've seen people there like, oh, I'm just going to say stuff. I don't care if it kills my channel. All right. So fold up and get the fuck out. Like, you don't need to like do that.
Yeah.
So
Monkey just let in the big secret. The secret is not to try to get big.
I'm doing a great job at that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, for me, it's like, I just kind of do what I like to do. And like, if you actually go and like, you go through my videos, it's fairly chaotic because it really comes down to what I feel like doing at that moment. I don't have a specific like roadmap planned out for my channel. I don't have a specific theme that, I stick to. I mean, like, I had the grinds my gears things for like a year or two. Then I was just like, all right, I'm done with that. If you look now, there's videos that if the title ends in be like, so like motorcycle accidents be like ... all
Yep.
those are just me talking to myself. Like I've got like, I play like 3 or 4 different characters in there.
Yeah.
So I mean, those are
I've
just
seen those. Those are hilarious.
yeah, like, and that's what I feel like doing at the time. Like I haven't done one of those in a while because I try not to force them, and
Yep.
I want to do them when I feel like they're gonna fit and be fun. And then I do like serious reviews, and then I just do some of the dumbest shit. Like, I mean, for me, I was super excited to go to Georgia and see the campground for Jason Lives.
Yep.
Jason Lives is part 6 in a franchise. Like it doesn't stand out for many people, and it's a horror movie that came out decades ago. So again, it stands out for even less people. But for me, I enjoyed it. I was excited to do it, so I did it. Same thing, like I went to the Clerks Quick Stop in New Jersey. For me, this was super exciting because like I love that movie. I grew up on that movie. Like it's just something I've always wanted to go to and I wanted to see. It's not mainstream right now. It's not gonna like become a viral video. Sean just mentioned Jack the Whipper. Like Jack the Whipper, like so I've been seeing that guy for like over 10 years. I saw him when his career started. And I've just messed with him for years and years. So lately it's just been like an excuse to do road trips where like I show up in places he would not expect me to just mess with him and leave. Like, so I mean, like really for my channel, it's just whatever amuses me at that moment is what I do. And when the channel itself stops amusing me, I'll just leave.
Yeah. And, speaking of, old horror movies and things like that, I'm going to address the elephant in your room, not mine. Camp Crystal Lake behind you.
Oh, yeah. So I got the little, if I can find out which, yeah, there you go. I got the mask.
Yeah, welcome to Camp Crystal Lake.
Well, this is kind of like, this gives you an idea of my personality in general. Cause like, let me get it right.
I see the mask.
Well, I've got Optimus Prime's helmet right there. I've got a Batman. Oh no, sorry, that's Chunk from the Goonies in the box. I've got Deadpool's head. I've got some Disney Rapunzel stuff. I've got Camp Crystal Lake, and then I've got Lilo and Stitch around here. And then the curtains are Haunted Mansion.
There you go.
So I mean, like I don't know. I'm just kind of chaotic. I'm all over the place, and it's whatever makes me happy at the time. That's what I do. And
yeah. And to be honest with you, I didn't know about you until I met you at Beards and Brews last year. And we hung out. We got to talking a little bit. Didn't really get to know each other that well, but just a little bit. And I found your channel. I was like, oh, this dude is fucking hilarious. And when that incident happened, you were just hilarious with the cops.
Oh yeah, that was so. I mean, for me, it's like
the meth lab in your saddlebag.
So I fully agree with Professional Monkey there. Jason is the best horror icon.
Yes.
For me, it's Jason, Leatherface, and Pinhead. Like, give me those three.
Pumpkinhead.
Pumpkinhead is good. I actually got a Pumpkinhead statue in here somewhere, actually. So, but
tell that. Yeah. I want you to tell that story, not with the incident, but when the cops showed up. There was a female cop he walks up to. Take it away.
Oh yeah, so there was an issue during the Beards and Brews ride. We with one of the riders. He was okay though, and I'd mentioned that on my video that I made. It was like, my first thought was like when I saw the stuff happen, I'm like, oh, I should get that on camera, and then I'm like, no, I shouldn't. It's kind of a dick move, like like. I don't think people should capitalize on stuff like that. It's not cool.
Right.
So we pulled off to the side of the road, and the the first thing that went through my head is like, okay, is that dude okay? All right, so let's get things organized. Like I can be very structured. I can be very I can lead when I need to. So, my thing was like, let's get the road cleared. Let's make it sure everything's okay. Everyone's okay and all that stuff. Once I made sure that the rider was good, to me, like I would rather laugh at things and kind of laugh things off a little bit than get too serious and all that stuff. Mel, Twisty sucks and American Horror Story sucks. Sorry, I'm off. So the cops came and I was just messing with the cops the whole time, and it's not the first time I've done that stuff. I was asking if they're going to bring drug dogs or whatnot, and if so, I needed to get the meth lab out of my saddlebag real quick. I was asking them about which drugs they look for, just different things like that, and the cops were laughing too, because I'm like, situations like that can be very delicate stressful. Or stressful and stuff like that. So it's good to just, once everyone's okay, to kind of laugh about it. Like I got in an accident years ago and I was laying on the pavement. My wide glide was on its side leaking and all that stuff on the side of the road. And when the cops came, same thing. I was cracking jokes. I couldn't move. I was pretty busted up. And the cops like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm just laying here staring at the sky, thinking about my life choices." And he's like, "Well, you're laughing, so I guess that's a good thing." And,
well, the next best part was, and Keltfire brought it up, was when you hollered at the kids on the bicycles. He says, "Hey, get a motorcycle, kids. It's fun."
So actually, a couple weeks ago, and I didn't have a camera on at this time, I was at a 603 brewery with my buddy Dave and a couple of his friends and stuff. And we looked over and we saw there were a bunch of tween girls that were kind of next to the brewery. We look over and they were actually sitting on our bikes taking pictures. We're sitting on the patio and the patio's full. That brewery was packed that night. And I'm like, "Hey, get the fucking bike!" And they just jumped and ran. I'm like, "This is how kids end up on fucking milk cartons." And everybody on the patio just started laughing and shit. And those girls turned white as sheets and disappeared. It was, yeah, I don't know. I will just say the most random shit. I don't care.
Actually watched Halloween and Halloween 2 back in October for the first time. How the hell did Micro Myers rise from the level of Jason, Freddy, or Pinhead?
Which Halloween 1 and 2? Because the series has been rebooted 3 times because it's fucking stupid.
Yeah,
I've never cared for Halloween. I don't know, to quote Professional Monkey there, fight me. I actually last year I did a grinds my gears on Halloween, and I just took a dump on the whole thing, the whole franchise. Yeah.
See, I'm with Lolly. The original Pinhead, it's the best.
Oh, it definitely is. So the original Pinhead, part 1 and 2 were good. Part 3 was kind of eh. And then after that, all the direct-to-video Hellraisers that came out, a lot of people may not realize, or if you watch the movie, you do realize, none of them were actually Hellraiser movies. They were rejected scripts for other movies that New Line and stuff was like, "All right, we're not going to make this movie because it sucks, but if you find a way to get Pinhead in here, we'll put it out on video." And so they would work in Pinhead into these failed scripts. And that's why there were cop dramas and all this stuff where Pinhead would show up for the last 5 minutes.
Yeah. Well, because they're riding that gravy train.
Both Rob Zombie Halloweens were awful. They were so awful. The second one was the worst. I remember Rob Zombie's I want Michael Myers to start making noise. There's no reason why he shouldn't make grunts and stuff. And I was sitting in a theater. I was waiting for my girlfriend at the time to get out of work. There was myself and one other dude in the theater. It was this dive crappy theater. The floors were sticky. It smelled like people were just pissing in there. I don't know. And I just remember like Michael Myers like stabbing some dude behind a counter, and all you hear is like and I'm like, my God, he's just butt ramming that dude. It's not even like stabbing him anymore. I was like, I am in a porn theater right now. I am
watching jailhouse porn.
Candyman's awesome too. Yes. 1 and 2 were really good. I did like the reboot that just came out recently. Part 3 was dumb as all hell. The newer Pinhead was cool too. I know Mel just said it looked like from Wish. So the thing is, if you read the original Clive Barker books, the Cenobites from the reboot were actually much closer to the actual story from the like what they were supposed to be.
Right on. Wow, we're at an hour already. Believe it or not.
Nailed it. And now we're just arguing horror movies.
Yeah, why not? It's a good conversation.
The thing that annoyed me the most about the new one is it was filmed in like Croatia or something, and they were trying to pretend it was the Berkshires of like Massachusetts, and I'm like, calm down. We don't have cobblestone roads over in the Berkshires. Like,
no, that's only in some roads in Manhattan.
No, that's some parts in Salem as well. Salem, Mass.
Yeah,
we've got them.
Yeah, you went to Salem for Halloween. My wife and I've done that years ago. It's a complete nut house.
I actually liked it before. So we used to have in Salem, we used to have like the like some of the churches would come out and try and protest and all that stuff. And this was another thing where like I tried to teach people, if you don't like something, just yelling and screaming at the people you don't like doesn't do anything. They're used to that. They're right. That's exactly what they're like geared towards doing. What you got to do with stuff like that is to actually take away their audience. So I would set up like a foot in front of these guys that have giant signs that are like Jesus hates, and it, they list off everything, and they've got a guy with a megaphone telling you you're going to hell and you're going to burn and stuff. I'd have a big poster board that said like the church over 1,000 years of touching little boys. Like and that gets their audience taken away. And then like I just start doing callbacks with them and stuff. So I'm like, I say gay, you say sex, and we're just I've got their whole crowd doing that. They're drowning out the guy with the megaphone. I'm dropping like different fact bombs because I actually went to church for a few years. I've learned this stuff. I know how to argue it.
Yep.
And it used to upset them so much.
What's funny is everybody goes to Salem, right, for the witch trials and all that, which actually the witch trials and the hangings were in Danvers, Mass. Which back then was all Salem until it broke off to be its own town, which became Danvers.
Well, so yes and no. Salem broke up into Danvers and Peabody. Some of the trials were held in Danvers, but a lot of the hangings were actually held in Peabody. And if you go to Peabody now, they found Gallows Hills. It's taken historians years and years to figure it out. But the problem was by the time they figured out where it is, it's now sandwiched between condos and a Walgreens. So it's like, and you're not allowed to go next to it.
Yeah. And Zen's right. It was because of the moldy bread that made them become psychotic. And that's why they got called witches. And, it was just a bad time for humanity in this country.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're always going to have every generation is going to have some sort of insanity. So you just kind of live through it.
I mean, look at the insanity that's going on now.
Oh, yeah. I mean,
and we'll leave it alone.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, if you notice, like, on my channel, like, I've got a pretty hard rule of, like, I don't do like religion or politics because
Yep.
no one can have a civilized conversation about either.
Correct.
So it's just not worth doing.
Nope. Nope. It's not. It's not. But I like to poke fun at it when I can, just like that, like the insanity going on now, and we'll leave it all in at that. Now everybody's guessing, what does he mean? What is he talking about?
The insanity of people who think that American Horror Story is a good series, or the Halloween movies are good.
Yeah, there's that level of insanity.
What do you mean?
Or people think TV shows like Sons of Anarchy and Mayans are documentaries.
Wait, they're not? Ah, shit. Now I gotta sell my bike.
Yep. Now you got to sell your bike.
So it's actually funny because like I know a few people in clubs, and obviously some of the stuff in like Sons and all that stuff is taken from actual like club rules and all that stuff. But when I hang out with these guys now, I have the hardest time keeping a straight face because I'm just like, oh, we're cosplaying Sons of Anarchy right now. This is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, I've spent my time in the club life through a couple different clubs, and went up the ladder, and now I'm done.
I just look at it like I've had friends try to get me to join clubs before, and I'm like, I don't want to. and
it's not for everybody.
Yeah, I'm like I don't want to go places because you say I have to go places. I don't want to like wear a certain outfit because you say I have to.
Or say you can't go here because you can't.
Yeah, I don't want to pay you dues so you can give me rules. That seems very counterproductive in my life.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to do that.
Yep. Yep. I'm just, me, and I ride and I have a good time. And
exactly.
If I ride with a couple friends, I ride with a couple friends. And most of the time it's just me riding with the old lady on the back. And sometimes there might be one or two other people I ride with.
Most times I ride alone because I'm going to like the longer trips and stuff. But when I meet up with people, like my buddy Dave, I love riding with him. He's fun. Again, Doyle down in like Georgia and stuff. That dude is great. I mean, I can't stress it enough. Like anyone in the side chat, you want to go do like Tail of the Dragon, you want to do anything like that, go hit up Doyle. Dude's like 4 feet tall. He has to use his floorboard to get on his bike.
I'm talking about Dallas.
Yeah. Oh, I remember Dallas. Yep. Dallas is a little dude.
Yep. You're talking about Dallas.
We could get them together and then we could go on a bike ride and they could tear it up. And then at the end, we could get them drunk and watch midget wrestling.
There you go.
I'm down for that.
Yep. Here he goes. The 3'6" mafia.
Doyle just tears it up. The dude is fantastic, and he's always looking for people to ride with. And the dude is so good. He's such a nice dude. He would give you the shirt off his back. Yeah, I've ridden with him. I've ridden with Sean. I've ridden with Kelpfire, stuff like that. Like there's a fair amount of people in the chat that I've ridden with that are just they're good people. I like them. It's fun to hang out with.
Yeah, exactly.
I've had Toby stalk me in Milwaukee and like
yeah. I wasn't stalked when I was in Milwaukee. I mean, that's a beauty part of being a small channel.
I had a lot of people recognize me, and I think it's funny because like the people that recognize me versus the people that watch me seem to be two different things. So I feel like I just I annoy that many people where you don't watch me, but you know I exist somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, maybe they just don't want to admit they watch you. That's why they recognize you, but they do watch you. They could be like the Ninja Turtles in the background you don't ever see.
It is quite possible. So yeah, I don't know. But it's always fun. I don't know.
Yeah, because there's some channels that I just sit and watch and I never comment or anything in their side chats or anything, but I do watch.
When I
And I
first started,
will.
yeah, when I first started watching channels, I didn't even I didn't fully know that etiquette. So like John Maxwell, like Shade Tree, all that stuff. When I used to watch them, I never used to I never used to comment, I just watch them and move on.
Yeah,
And then I was like, oh, this is the stuff that helps their analytics. So like, I'll do that. Even now, it's like I watch a ton of channels when I'm at work because again, it helps me to work.
yeah. You're an IT guy. You like me, and you have a lot of free time on your hands.
Yeah. So I mean, but for me too, it's like sometimes I zone out, so I'm not listening to everything. So a lot of times when I'm leaving a comment, the comments on like maybe the first like couple minutes of your video, because I want to leave something that's relevant to show you that I was there. But like I may zone in and out, and there's a fair chance I'm not watching your video because I am actually working, but I'm listening to it. I'm checking back in with it.
Kind of like today. You said this guy's a grandma tickler.
Oh, well, I mean, if you the picture you posted of me, if you look at the thumbnail,
Yeah,
it says I love hot grandmas on my t-shirt.
yeah. That's why I chose it, because it shows your personality.
Yeah, Kelfire had to hang out with me when I had my stepsis logo on, t-shirt
But
on.
20
Logo.
bucks is 20 bucks, and motorcycle parts aren't cheap.
There you go. I mean,
Tweedle's got
grandma's
the
big, man.
villages locked down there in Florida, so he goes there and makes a couple bucks while during bike week.
Well, I mean, what is it? Pro Monkey is down in Florida, right?
Absolutely. I met him this
He can make
past March.
money off the grannies down there.
Yep. I met Pro Monkey and Mrs. Monkey down there. Of course, Hell's on Two Wheels and Tweedle and Nori, just to name a few.
Yeah, Nori's a good dude too. I like him a lot.
Yep. I went to Blockhead's garage, met Blockhead there. Great dude, very, very humble.
Very cool.
Chris is a great dude. Chris and I had a very long conversation about motors and cams and things like that. That was awesome to have that conversation. And Justin, I try to steal his knowledge of editing because he's just really fucking good at it.
I look at the people who like have really good videos, like really well edited videos.
So you don't watch any of mine?
Well, it's funny because like those people are like, oh, I spend hours on my videos, and I'm like, dude, I'll spend like 2 hours tops on a video. After that, I'm checking out.
Yeah.
I try and automate as much of my editing as possible, and I mean, I'm not making like mad bank off my channel, so like I'm not gonna spend like 2 days editing a video.
Right. And when I edit my videos, and I've said it once and I'll say it again, I always just trim the fat. A little dead air in the beginning, a little dead air in the end, and that's it. And I put it together.
Yeah.
Because most of my stuff is, how-tos.
For me, it's like, I've got a lot of stuff set up, so it's like I can just drop it right in and put it together really easy. So like, my intro is preset, my outro is preset.
Yep.
All the other stuff, the like, comment, subscribe thing is all set up, so I just drop it right in. So then it's just really just going through, cutting it, adding a little bit of music, and it's like I try and put out a decently solid product. I'm sure I could do a lot better if I spent more time on it, but again, ADHD, and I'm not rolling like mad money for my channel. So, I'm going to put out a decently solid thing, but I'm not putting out like cinematic glory.
Yep. Well, you got a couple of partnerships, one with Cardo, which I think is a very good partnership.
I love Cardo. They are so good.
And you have a partnership with Kemimoto.
I do not have one with Kemimoto.
Okay.
Actually,
it appeared to me that you did.
So Kemimoto's been good to me. They definitely have. They will send me stuff to review, but I do not have any referral codes. They actually just today emailed me and offered me my own personal discount code to offer people. So that's going to start going into like the description box below my videos, but I don't get a kickback on that. So I'm still not an affiliate of theirs.
Right.
I don't mind sharing that because I think Kemimoto has some great products.
Yes.
They have sent me some great stuff. I haven't had to sit there and like talk around like trying to like polish a turd or something. Their products are good and solid. So yeah, I have no problem sharing that because for the most part, they've taken care of me.
Yeah. I believe it or not, Kemimoto reached out to me. They sent me a product. And I did a video which will be coming up not this Sunday, but next Sunday. And I'm hoping that, we will continue this relationship because I really like the product they sent me, which was the soft lowers for the chopped engine guards.
Nice. Actually, it's funny because I got a box right here. It's Kemimoto I get a review for.
Yeah.
Not soft lowers, but yeah, I mean, they've been good to me, and they've offered me discount codes before, and I've turned them down because I'm like, the discount code on your website is better than the one you're giving me, so there's no point in doing this.
Right.
And they're like, okay, fair enough. And so I've been very upfront and honest with them about stuff. The new one that they just gave me, I think, is like 17%. So I think that beats what's on their website. So I don't mind sharing that one.
Right.
Overall though, Cardo is my absolute favorite.
Communicator.
What's that?
Your favorite communicator?
My favorite communicator, and like I love being an ambassador for them. Like, when I was first looking for a few discount codes and stuff, and that wasn't even like trying to make money. Like there's a product I still wear today that I like. I like it a lot.
Good night, Kurt.
I reached out to that company and I was like, hey, I'm about to do a review on the new product that I purchased from you full price. Do you have any sort of discount code that I can offer people? I don't need like a kickback or anything. I'm not trying to be an ambassador, just like, a discount code I can offer to people I'm doing the review for your product on. And they're like, oh, well, you got to have like, 10,000 followers on Instagram. You got to have this, you got to have that. I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to push your stuff.
Yeah.
I did the review on the Cardo Pack Talk Edge before I was an ambassador. One of their people saw my review, reached out to me, and they offered me the ambassadorship with no strings attached. They were just like, here you go. Here's your discount code. Here's what you'll get for a kickback. We'll take care of you. They've done a great job taking care of me. So like for that, like always be indebted to them. They gave me a shot when other people wouldn't even respond to my emails. So
yeah,
I
know that feeling, not getting your emails responded to. I'm in the works of a couple different things right now. I hope they iron out. If they don't, they don't. But I hope they do. They could always say no, but they can always say yes.
Well, I look at it, it's like I said, I have an adult job, so it's like I'm not trying to survive off of YouTube funds. So like all the money I make off of YouTube goes to my toy drive anyway. So it's like if I get these like endorsements and stuff, the ambassadorships, awesome. It's more money to buy toys for my toy drive. If I don't get them, it's not like I go without eating or paying my rent like at the end of this month. So
have you reached your goal for your toy drive yet?
I am almost at my goal. I am about $300 away.
So if you want, go ahead and announce how somebody wants to make a donation to your toy drive. Now, I made a donation. It was in for the running for the Cardo communicator, knowing I'm not going to win because I never win these things.
Dude, you never know. So Rob at the gym, like he was like, when I was like, hey man, like he handed me the 100 and I'm like, do you want me to put you in for the Cardo? He's like, Yeah, it's not like I'm gonna win, but whatever. I
Yep.
I showed up today because I did the like video yesterday, so I knew who won. I showed up today at the gym with all the stuff so I could grab a picture with him, and I handed it to him, and his face just lit up. He's like, "No, no," and I'm like, "Yeah."
So I challenge everybody. I donated $100 to the toy drive because it's a wonderful thing. And if you want to give everybody the elevator speech about your toy drive.
Sure. So if you go over to my channel right now, the last few videos that are up there all have my GoFundMe link on those videos. I do have a few contests and a few giveaways. Actually, right now there's an active Kemimoto giveaway package. Oh, hey, Corey got it in there. So what happens is that toy drive, that's for a place called Child Health Services. When I went there as a kid, it was called Child Health Services. Now it's like Amskeg Health, the Selma Deitch Community Health Center. It's changed names 100 times. It's always going to be CHS to me.
Mm-hmm.
They provide medical care and all that other fun stuff, pediatrics, to families in need from the time the child's born all the way to the time they are 18.
Yep.
The doctor who founded Child Health Services was my doctor, and when I was younger, I was one of those like families in need. I was one of her first patients for Child Health Services when it was still a pilot program, and I came all the way up through that. So
Yep.
after she passed away, I wanted to give back, and every year I've done this toy drive. When I was in a band, we used to play and raise like $200-300 and like I'd buy toys. Now, it's in the thousands. And essentially you go to that GoFundMe, you make a donation. I have no employees. I don't pay myself. I put money into it. Like I pay for like the U-Haul now that I need. I take the day off of work. I throw in my own money to buy toys as well. And all of that money just goes to buying toys. I head over to CHS. I drop them off. They divide them up among families that may not have anything under the tree this year otherwise.
Yep.
So it's about as pure as a toy drive and Christmas spirit as you can get. Like I said, right now there's a Kemimoto giveaway going. So I mean, if you want to try and win something in the process, check out that video. There may be something else going up for a giveaway starting on Monday, but I can't tell you what it is just yet. But yeah, there's a couple different things you can possibly win, or like I said, you could just go to GoFundMe and give me some money.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to drop the link in here as well. And we have 34 people here watching right now. And I appreciate everybody that's watching. I really do.
I
if
think
you can find it in your heart to go
like
there, and I challenge everybody to give $5 or $10 to Ben's GoFundMe to help these kids out, I'd really appreciate it.
It absolutely, and I mean that's something. When I put out the GoFundMe like messages and updates all the time, I say it all the time. Even a dollar helps add up to something like to a bigger amount. I've had people in the past literally donate $1 and then apologize to me, and I'm like, "What are you apologizing for? You've given me $1. That dollar is going to with all the other dollars, and it creates something bigger and better."
Yep. And I think it's a great cause. You're giving back to a program that helped you. And I'm sure you're one of their success stories, of one of many, I'm pretty sure of.
Well, I'm not dead yet.
Right. But you're still a success story because you went through the program, you grew up, you became, a responsible adult on a
I don't know
loose
if
term.
I use responsible.
Yeah. Adult on a very loose term.
Yep.
But, I challenge everybody to go there. If they could throw $5 or $10 into there, it'd be greatly appreciated and would help these kids have a Christmas.
I think Wind Road Therapy said she was just going to donate $500 in the next couple minutes. So thanks, Des. Thanks.
Des is awesome if that's true. I mean, she's awesome anyways.
Yeah, she is.
I mean, I love Des.
Actually, during that Baggers and Brews thing, like Des and I were just like hanging out in that bank vault at one of the breweries, just putting stickers and stuff in all the drawers to be found later on and whatnot.
Yeah, right on. That's funny. I wish I knew that. I would have done the same thing.
Well, she was like, "What are you doing?" And then I showed her, and she's like, "Oh, it's a great idea." We just started loading up the drawers. So somebody's getting some Wind Road Therapy and Bike Beards and Brews stickers.
Yep. Nice. So that's a great event that you're doing. And, and if they want to enter your giveaways, they could do that. I mean, I got what was it? 5 entries. Was it for $20? I mean, for $100, 5 entries for $100.
No, so on the Cardo, what it was $20 an entry. If you donated 100, I would double your entries. And the same thing with the Kemimoto. The Kemimoto is $10 buy-in, and $50 and above, I will double I'll double your entries. And actually, right now, it looks like Dale, DA Bishop over there, is willing to match people who are donating right now. Give 10 back, and I'll say, like, Dale, DA Bishop here, dude is awesome. This dude has he made some really cool donations last year. I don't know if he wants me to actually say it out loud and stuff, but he did some really cool stuff last year, and this year he is right on par to he's still doing it, and it's so awesome. To me, it's the coolest thing.
There you go.
When people just buy into this and believe in a cause that they've never heard of until I told them about it.
Here's an idea. Salty just gave it to me. Anybody who makes a super chat donation, whatever comes in, I will get to Ben, and Salty will match it up to $100.
There we go. So Dale's gonna match, Salty's gonna match. Quick, Des, put in that $500.
Put it in the super chat. Put it in, and I will. I won't say, well, I got 100, and so $66.66 came to me. That's what he's good. No, I will give him the 100. I'll eat the YouTube third, like I did for the donations for my chopper build, which is still ongoing. So if anybody wants to make a super chat donation or go to his GoFundMe, make a donation, let us know, and a couple people will match you.
Des said the link wasn't found. Hold on one second. I will get you the link right now.
Yeah, put it in the private chat, because you can't post it in the chat. But you can put it in the private chat, and I can put it up.
All right, hold on. There you go.
All right. So copy. And let's go back to here. Oh, Kelfire just threw $20 in. Thank you, Kelfire.
I feel like I should have to pay her $20 because she had to put up with my shit down in Maryland.
I love Kelfire. And she got a beautiful Laguna Orange Road King.
So she, in Maryland, she showed up on a Sportster with her daughter.
Yeah.
So,
I love Kelfire and Fat Glide. They're great. They're a great couple. So, thank you, Kelfire. Appreciate it.
Yeah, she had to put up with my shit, and then she can verify that I was wearing a kilt in the traditional fashion and got on my bike and rode to Guinness like that. She saw a lot of very pale white leg all the way over.
Yep. Holy cow, Salty Bagger. Thank you very much. 135.
All right. Thanks, Salty.
So we got
Very much appreciated.
$155 going to your uh your GoFundMe tonight from me.
Awesome.
Well, not from me. It's coming from Keltfire and Salty Bagger. Um, and then I will get you that money actually by the close of day tomorrow. I'll get you whatever money is raised here. I'll make sure you get it
Very
before
cool.
close of business on Thanksgiving.
You got a few weeks before the fundraiser's over, so you don't have to rush.
No, it's just that when people, do things like this, I want to make sure it gets where it belongs. I mean,
Absolutely.
between when people made donations towards my chopper build, I raised $400, and that money went towards the rolling chassis that I have that I
Nice.
got off of Moto Noggin, and he took the 400 for it.
Very cool.
So way cool. So we got a rolling chassis. I got a Springer front end for it, and I got a gas tank. I'm still trying to get handlebars and hand controls and foot controls and a motor, a trans, an open primary. I already got my painter and powder coater lined up. So
little bit at a time.
Yep.
And that's the other thing about the GoFundMe as well. It's set at $2,000. For the last like 10 years, I've always gone over. People have donated way over. And if we go over the 2,000, all that just goes into toys too. So at no point in time do I start taking a cut. It's 100% two toys.
Oh yeah. Backlight just told me check my Instagram. I did, and it is Mrs. Keltfire's most beautiful Laguna Orange Road King.
I don't know why she didn't ride that out to Maryland. I mean, what the hell?
Because she just got it.
Well, maybe if I head down to Maryland again this year, she'll have it this time.
Well, I'm gonna be in Ocean City for their bike week this year.
Nice. I almost went down last year, and this goes back to just the way I do things, where I was just like, I don't feel like it, and I just didn't go.
Yeah.
I basically I'll book hotels and stuff on booking.com with the zero cancellation fees, just because I change my mind so much.
Yep. And you know what? The 155, I'm gonna make it 255.
Awesome.
I'm gonna donate 100. I'm gonna donate another 100.
I mean, if you're gonna donate 100, depending on what your helmet size is, you may want to wait till Monday.
Depending on the helmet.
I mean, I don't want to say it's a helmet I'm giving away. I mean, I can't really talk about what I'm giving away just yet, but just in case, especially if you wear an extra large or a 2 extra large, it's something you should definitely consider.
No, I got a pretty small head.
So many jokes.
Hey. I'm not ashamed. I'm a white American. I got nothing. It's Corey wants to know, is it a full face?
Well, I mean, again, I'm not allowed to really talk about it yet because it's got to be a Monday thing. But
Okay.
Definitely if you tuned in Monday, I could definitely tell you what I'm giving away. I can't say it's a helmet.
But is it something that you wore and sweated in?
No.
Because that would add value to some people.
So actually Monday is going to be a perfect example of, when I do reviews, I tell people straight out, I do fair and honest reviews. And
Same
the thing
here.
is, I've had people reach out to me and offer me to review products. And I've looked at them and I'm like, honestly, I don't see how this can fit into what I do.
Yeah.
So I've turned it down. What am I reading above? Des, what am I reading above? Yeah, so there's been companies where they've reached out to me. I've had companies that are like, "Oh, we love your channel. We'd like you to review something that we think would be a perfect fit for you." And then I click on the link and it's all Chrome parts, and I'm like, "Okay, you've never seen my channel. Great." Um, but
See, I got that, but it was like ginger ale.
I
I've gotten, believe it or not, women's feminine products.
I've gotten like jewelry, Chrome products, random dog photos. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know.
That one really threw me for a loop. That hey, we'd love you to highlight our product on your channel. We watch and see
Yeah.
what you're doing. We love it, and maybe they got me configured with another Dr. Harley. Confused.
Well, I mean, so usually, like, there's been products I've gotten where they've been pretty bad, and I've responded, like, I've hit up the company and I go, "Hey, there's no way I can do a good review on this. So you can either let me give the product away, or I'll ship it back to you. But if you try and hold me to some sort of contract, I'm gonna take a giant shit all over this thing, on my channel."
Yeah.
And most companies have been really good about that. So there was a product that was shipped to me not long ago for me to do a review on, and I was really excited to get it, and I really wanted to try it. And it didn't quite work out for me. It didn't fit right. The company itself was fantastic. They were absolutely fantastic. They did everything they could to work with me. They tried to get some stuff to make it to make the fit better, and it just wasn't working out. But they were awesome. They were so awesome. And so they were like, "You know what? If you want to do a giveaway with our product, we're more than happy with that. We totally support that."
Yep.
Because same thing, I was like, I can ship it back to you or I can give it away, but I can't do a review on it because I can't use it.
Yeah. That same thing with Kemimoto, because with those soft lowers, with the fang fairings on the CVOs, I didn't want it to scratch or ruin the paint on the soft lowers. So I reached out to them. I said they really don't work, and I explained why. I said, would you mind if I put them on my brother's bike, who they'll work just fine for? And they're like, oh, not a problem.
Yeah.
But I let them know.
Oh yeah. And I mean, again, with Kemimoto, they've been very, very good to me, and they've been very flexible. Same, like, I hit them up and I was like, "Hey, I'm doing this toy drive. Can you send me some stuff to give away?" And they're like, "Sure." And again, for your viewers, if you go check out my channel right now, there is a Kemimoto giveaway on there, and it's like tank bags, water bottle holders. I'm giving away an air cushion seat cover, like fair amount of stuff, and they hooked me up. They were fantastic about the whole thing. They were really good.
Are the jugs of decent thickness? What jugs, Gremlin?
Love jugs.
Okay, I think I stepped into a middle of a conversation. I don't know if I wanted to or not, but I like jugs.
They want to talk about love jugs.
Don't love my love jugs.
Yeah, all that fun stuff. I don't know, whatever.
Nope, not a fan of them. Maybe on the baggers with the bigger fans, they work better.
I don't know. I can't get behind love jugs. It doesn't work for me.
Yeah, and another YouTuber where I bought them from, he said, I'll be kind of interested to see what you do with these on the video and stuff. And I don't think he's talking to me anymore because of that video.
I'll be interested to see what you do with them. You take them and throw them away. There you go.
And I won't. I'll take them off and I'll mothball them because I won't sell them to anybody. Because I'm out that $485 for them.
Oh, I didn't even know they cost that much. Jeez.
Yep.
Nope.
And that was a very expensive experiment because
I
everybody talks how great they are and how well they work, and I was like, but nobody showed the science behind it.
I looked at them and honestly I looked at them. I'm like, these don't make sense. So like I don't know. I looked at them and I'm like, I don't know. Like personally, they don't make sense to me, and I'm just gonna pass.
And that's what I should have done, because that could have been $500 more in my budget for Daytona, or for TMMR, or for Gettysburg, or for uh, Ocean City.
Throw them up on eBay.
I wouldn't want to put them on somebody else,
Fair enough.
I just have that integrity. If I put them up on eBay, be like, hey, I put these on my bike. They don't really work, but I'm trying to get my money back. Are you interested?
You'd be surprised. I do want to take a second though to say thank you, Des. Thank you very much. I just looked at the GoFundMe. She made a donation.
Oh, awesome. Des is great. She really is.
She is. She's really fun to hang out with. Like I said, down in Jersey, it was a great time hanging out with her.
Yep. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
it was actually fun hanging out with so I'd hung out with Bry the biker before. New Jersey was the first time I hung out with him and his wife. And I don't know if he properly warned his wife about me before like we met. Is she was highly amused by me, but like she was like, Jesus, like I did not expect any of this.
Yeah. That I met Des for the first time in Daytona, and then of course I saw her again at Baggers and Brews, and I enjoyed her company. She's a good person. She's a great rider. I mean, I enjoyed being around her a lot. And Riding on Three says, could always do a giveaway for them instead of tossing them. Yeah, but how would I do that? Hey, I'm giving away these love jugs I took off my bike because they don't work.
Well, I mean,
They potentially could cause more harm and damage to your motorcycle than good.
well, you could do hey, I did not like these. I don't feel that they do the job that they should be doing. However, some of you may feel differently. Let's go ahead and I'll give these away to somebody who wants them.
Yeah,
So it's
but
like,
I have this thing, integrity. If I give them to somebody and they use them, and then I'm going to sit there and think the worst,
but at the
I
same
just,
time, you're giving them away while still giving that warning. It's
yeah,
not so it's not like you're like, these are the greatest things on earth. You're gonna love them. Like, get these totally. And then they get them and they're like, oh, are you stupid? Like, what did you just do to me? Like, you could say, hey, this is not, like, I did not find these to do what they claimed that they were going to do. I don't think that they're a good option for the engine. You may disagree with me. If you'd like them, let me know. We'll do a giveaway.
yeah, maybe. Yeah, maybe. Maybe that'll be like a 2,000 subscriber giveaway.
There you go. So it's, I mean, like there's definitely ways to approach it. I mean, again, with the giveaway I'm going to do on Monday, I'm going to front load that with like, hey, I like this was something I was supposed to do a review on. It didn't work for me. But I feel like this is a great product, and for my end, my situation. So I'm going to be like, I feel like this is a great product. So I'm giving it away as part of my fundraiser. And, I'm going to run it like that. So it's still being upfront and honest about it, because if they get it and they go, hey, this sucks, I can literally, my video is, hey, I couldn't do a review on this because it didn't work out for me.
Yep. So, Drew, we're talking about me giving away my love jugs for the Milwaukee 8 Softail.
Every time I hear Love Jugs, I just think Love Shack from the B-52s.
The Love Shack, baby.
I think that just makes them worse.
I think of a strip club.
Okay, that works too.
Let's be honest. You know,
This
Riding and Wrenching. Hello and welcome to the show.
What's up, Riding and Wrenching? I've checked out his channel a fair amount of times as well. I think I was just on it today, in fact.
Yeah.
He was comparing the CVO to the Indian Challenger Elite, which is
That's the truth.
Yeah, it's easy to say nice things about Des because she's fun to hang out with and she's a nice person.
Yeah, she is. And like Dallas, they come in short order.
It's it's just something about the Lollipop Guild. They're always just really fun, nice people.
Yeah, yep.
My buddy Dave's only like 3 feet tall too, so I'm like,
well, hey, look, talk about the Lollipop Guild. See movies in the Discord. I don't take part in any
Discords. On the wrong Discord, apparently.
I don't take part in any Discords because I don't have time for that.
I
really don't. Between working full time, working in the shop, and then filming, editing, posting, and then taking part in everybody's lives. I mean,
yeah, I don't take part in them. I tried to with when Bry the Biker started his. I think for the first day I was in there for a little bit. And then I think he was trying to run like more of a PG sort of Discord, and I completely blew that out of the water within like the first 20 minutes. I was like, all right, I'm just gonna back out of this one quietly.
It's like a chat room, or what they used to call a forum.
So the easiest way riding and wrenching, I think I have a basic outline of how old you are. Remember like AOL chat rooms? Discord's just that with a different branding.
That's a good way of putting it.
Except when you come in, not everyone does the ASL like post real quick in there.
Yep. So yeah, that's all the questions I have for tonight for you. I mean, we've answered it. We also discussed different things. If anybody's interested, in the description of this video, I've linked in Ben's Instagram and his YouTube channel. I'm sure everybody here is subscribed to them both, but if you haven't subscribed to him, please go ahead and check his channel out, his Instagram page out. If you like what he's doing on there, go ahead and subscribe to him. I'm a subscriber to both. And I have been to his YouTube channel and his Instagram channel since May, when we met for face-to-face. I didn't know he existed till then. So, yeah, you didn't exist until May, by the way.
And if you don't like my channel, just don't take other people when you leave. Just you go.
You know what? I always say, if you don't like the videos, hit the thumb down twice to make sure you get it.
It's funny because like most of my videos actually kind of get 100%. And then every now and then I see one that gets like thumbs down, and it's like a video that like I don't know, I'm like, why would you even thumbs down this video? Like I think I had one on like a charity thing I was doing at one point in time, and someone like thumbs down, and I'm like, well, why would you do that?
You want to laugh? I don't dig into my analytics a lot, but when I was at Daytona, I went live for the Bikini Bike Wash at the Cackleberry.
Yep.
And I was kind of interested to see how that quick little live did with the Bikini Bike Wash. I actually lost 4 subscribers on that video. I'm like, we're about motorcycles, rallies, bikini bike washes go hand in hand.
It's funny because like roadie riders who like I've hung out with before, he's good too, and Sean they're both doing the Who's Ben. My my screen name on most things for like the last 10, 15 years has always been Who the Hell Has Been. So they're pretty close right there.
Yeah. Yep. Rhodey's a good dude. I've ridden with Rhodey a couple times. We went to Jersey and back together. We rode up to Lake George together. Had a great time up there. Um, let's see. He's come down to the shop a couple times. I did his suspension technologies for him on a morning, and we had a great time. So
I'm still going to claim that I'm patient zero for the whole suspension technologies movement.
yeah, no worries, no worries. I was a Legend guy. I've had every flavor of Legend that you could think of. I've had the Revos, the Revo A's, and the ARCs with the remote reservoir. And I'm one of the guys that actually know how to use the remote reservoirs and the double adjustables, for handling and for the day and road conditions, and how you load the bike down. And the 13-inch suspension technologies outperformed the Legends ARCs.
Oh yeah,
top of the line shock.
13 is what I'm using. I love them. They're so good.
There's great shock. You have a lot of shock travel in it. You don't hit bump stops. It picks the bike up a little bit, and I have not a long inseam. It's only a 30-inch inseam. So I'm not flat-footed, but I've been riding long enough that I don't really need to be flat. Oh, see, I believe a monoshock is better than a dual shock, because with a dual shock, even though the shocks are tuned to be as close as they can be, you still get a little flex, where a monoshock, there's no flex between left and right side.
I do agree. I think mono is better than dual. Especially if you're buying a Harley. Dual shocks on a Harley are the biggest pieces of shit on the face of the planet. For people that don't realize it, if they've never like dug into their bike or they don't own a bagger, if you take the bags off your Harley, you'll find that you actually only have one rear shock. So one shock actually does the work, and it's adjustable and all that stuff. And then the other shock is just a slave shock. So they're not equal ever. They're like, Harley shocks cannot be equal because only one is adjustable. Even those new like $40,000 CVOs that have the little adjustment knob on the outside, it only adjusts one of the two shocks.
Yep, which only adjusts the compression, where on the left side of the bike, and on the right side, that controls your rebound.
And it works as a slave.
Yep.
So mono, you get it. It's just, you have one shock. It's even. I think with Harley, I think that was one of the dumbest moves that they made with the new CVO, was not taking that to a mono shock.
Well, I said it on my review of my CVO last year that, you buy the Premier motorcycle, right? Custom vehicle operations, and they use the same junk garbage shock on that bike than they did all the others. When you have a shock that has the Öhlins internals valving, why not use that on the CVOs? Well, it comes down to the almighty dollar.
Well, see, I have a lot of issue with Harley using Öhlins as well. And I think I have more issues with Harley riders who buy Öhlins. Because 9 times out of 10, like, you look at Harley riders, and like they are the gatekeepers of like, it's got to be American or it's crap. Like, they will trash metric cruisers. They will, talk shit about everything. And then they go and they buy Öhlins. Nothing against Öhlins. They seem like a good shock, good suspension. I haven't had them, but you've got so many American-made shocks out there, and that's not just plugging suspension technologies, because Legends is American. There's a couple others out there as well. So to just pass by all these American like shock suppliers and makers and all that and go for like what's Olin's Italian. It seems it's
Actually,
very
Orleans, I
annoying.
think they're German because they have the umlaut over
Yeah,
the O. So I think they're German. And I've
and
had Orleans on my race car,
yep.
which were custom valved and custom sprung and custom built for my car, which was expensive, but I'd have to send them back at the end of the season to get them rebuilt for the next season.
And so, like, I mean, that just pisses me off with like Harley and stuff because it's like you have like American shock makers you could be picking from, and you're like, oh, let's go Olin's, and then you get the Harley guys who are like, let's do everything American. All right, let me order my Olin's. Like, fuck off, pick a lane.
Yeah, it drives me crazy. It's got to drive you crazy. Because yeah, there's much better shocks. You got Suspension Technologies, that's an American company. You have Legends, which is another American company. You have Fox, which is another American company. I'm not sure about RWD if they're an American company or not.
I'm not sure. I mean, I know there's a few out there, and so it's like when you're sitting there going, all right, we put the finest German engineering on there. It's like get fucked, dude. Like you're either like all American, like, or you're
Well,
outsourced.
Harley hasn't been all American motorcycles
No,
for
no.
the longest time.
Oh, for sure they haven't. But it's like I think the people who ride them piss me off more than Harley because Harley has kind of get like they've outsourced for years.
Yeah,
That's nothing new there. But it's like when you have the option to put an American made part on there and you're on the mountaintop screaming about how you should buy American, support American jobs and all that, and you have American shocks and stuff like that that are in the exact same price point as like the ones that are made in Germany and all this stuff, and you still bypass those American ones to go to the German ones, then you're full of shit. Like you need to shut up and put away all the American flag T-shirts that you have and calm down a little.
yeah. The last time Harley was 100% American made motorcycle was before they went to AMF.
Mm-hmm.
After that, that's when they started branching out to different countries for different parts and different things, like the Manuki carburetor. Some of the bolts are metric.
Mm-hmm.
And that's because they're getting those parts from overseas. It is what it is. I mean, it's all about the company making money, but when there is an American company that's making a better or equivalent product for the same money, I would rather see them lean towards keeping the commerce within the country than going outside.
Absolutely. And again, I mean, I don't fault Harley as much because I mean my expectations for Harley are fairly low to begin with. I fault more the riders who, those people who will sit there and be like, I would never be caught on a metric bike, or I would never do this, and like everything's got to be American. And then like, when they have the option to actually step up and do it, they don't.
Yeah. I mean, I work on these things all the time. I could tell you there's a handful of metric bolts, and those are coming from overseas, not within the country.
Have a good one, Des.
Night, Des. Happy Thanksgiving to you, darling. Thank you. I missed that one. But yeah, I would love to see that happen more and more, but it's not going to happen because Harley doesn't listen to us because we're not Harley Davidson Motor Company's customer. We're not. I've said it many, many times. I'll say it again. We are the dealership's customer. The dealerships are Harley Corporate's customer.
Makes sense. I mean, that's
the
right
truth.
about. Yeah.
When you buy the bike, you buy it from an independent dealer. That independent dealer pays a franchise fee and flooring fees to Harley Davidson Motor Company. So Harley Davidson Motor Company, their customers are the dealer network. And we are the dealer network's customers.
Oh shit. Road Reality's here. Let's wrap this up.
Yep. All right. Hey John, how you doing? You know, better late than never, right?
It's funny.
Hey, good night, Frog.
When I was mentioning people who put a good amount of time into editing their videos and making really good looking videos, I had John in mind, because like he does some pretty like crazy stuff.
He's forgotten more about video editing than I'll ever learn.
Oh yeah. Yeah, and he'll explain it, and he's explained it to me, and I'm like, dude, I'm just gonna use Final Cut Pro, and like I'm gonna bang this out in like an hour. But have fun with your 8 hours. But at the end of the day, his product definitely looks better than mine, so whatever.
Yeah. And you know what? A lot of people like the highly edited and produced videos. Who doesn't?
Sure.
But then there's a group of people who like the raw, unedited, and just put together videos because it's real.
I think you have to find a middle ground, because there's definitely been people where, like, I remember when I first started motovlogging, like there were a bunch of people that are like, "Oh, I can do this so easily," and they forget that you have to have like a personality. You have to have something that people can grab onto. I remember one dude who had a GoPro on his helmet, and he would record, but he didn't have a mic. So he would just yell really loud through his helmet, and you could barely hear what the dude was saying the whole time. It was just a disaster. He lasted about 2 months before he dropped off.
Hey, it happens, you know. I tried my hand at motovlogging. I'm not very good at it.
I honestly think it helps you become a better rider. And the only reason why I say that, actually, John kind of mentioned this on one of his videos not long ago, is he said a lot of motovloggers, if you watch them, they're always driving on a straight road, and they're always driving a familiar road. So it's easier for them to vlog while they're doing it. And I kind of do the opposite. Like, you know, I'll be going down the tail of the dragon for the first time, talking about the experience while I'm doing it. And I'm like, oh, this is great. And I honestly think it makes you a better rider, because now you have to talk, pay attention, engage, think. Like, you know, there's so much more to it than just focusing on that ride. And I enjoy that way more.
Yeah. See, Chasing Ghosts, all your videos you did at Lone Star, I liked, because it showed the true part of the rally. It wasn't cut, it wasn't edited, it wasn't fluffed. You know, it was just in the moment, true reality, you know, and that's what I enjoy.
I enjoy videos where it doesn't feel like I'm watching the same thing over and over again, and it doesn't feel like you're just trying to sell me stuff over and over again.
Right.
There's a few channels that I look at that have zero integrity. That, you know, every video is a commercial, and you know, they contradict themselves. Like one day it's like, oh, this is the best bike ever, and then they're on the next one, they're like, this is the best bike ever. And you know, it's who's ever paying their bill for that video.
Yeah.
So that integrity's gone.
Well, you got to remember, they're running it as a business at that point.
Yeah, and to me, that at that point I don't care.
And believe it or not, a lot of people feel that way. But
they do, but a lot of times, like, the problem is, like, you still get those people that are like, they're supporting that.
Yeah. Well, you know, I know one motovlogger, you know, they're a fairly large channel, and they're complaining that their views are down.
because they're
The subscriber count's not going. It was in a video. They
yeah.
complained the subscriber count's not going up. They also complain their views are going down and their watch time is going down, and they don't understand why.
If it's the same one, I'm thinking about it's they do that every few months. Every few months, it's like, oh, no one's watching my video. Your videos suck. Like you just all your thumbnails are clickbait. Your videos are longer than what they need to be, and every single one you're just pushing something different. And
or they're shoveling food in their face.
Yeah, and it's very obvious, that you're basically a hired gun. Even a lot of times you can look at these people's like profiles and they'll say like, if you're a business and you want to like hire me to come talk about your product, reach out to me. Okay, you have no integrity. It doesn't matter. Like, go fuck yourself.
Yeah.
And it's the same, like you get a lot of people who will make videos, and like I mentioned in the beginning of it, they just chase whatever trend because they're trying to get popular like that. And it's like if you're chasing that trend, if you're chasing what's popular, you're always one step behind because you're following somebody else.
Right.
So it's, I mean, like, and that's why, like, when you ask me where my channel's going, I don't know.
Where would you like to see it? How's that sound? Where would you like to see it go?
I don't know. I would just like it to reach a large group of people that embrace my insanity.
Yeah.
That's about it.
For me, I'm having fun and I'm enjoying doing this. And where I wanted to see it go, I'd like to continue to have fun and continue to enjoy doing this, because as soon as it becomes work, or as soon as I start having fun with this because of the drama, I'm done.
Yeah.
Because I don't have time in my life for that.
Well, it's what, like I said to you in the beginning when we were off air, I don't name names in my channels.
Nope.
Like even right now, like, the person I'm talking about, I keep with like, I say like they, because I don't even want you to know if I'm talking about a guy or a girl.
Yep.
I try and keep things not too specific. I mean, like, some people can figure it out, but it's like YouTube is like anything else. It's a high school mentality. So, I mean, if I was to call out somebody specific, like let's say right now, I was like, you know what? Hey, fuck kelp fire. There's going to be those people that are going to feel the need where they have to choose between me or her. And, it can cost me viewers. It could cost her viewers. It's a weird game to play. And I don't want to do that. I know that there is a large amount of YouTube creators out there that I cannot stand. I find them to be disgusting human beings.
Yep. Good idea.
But I also know that some of their viewers are my viewers. And I don't want...
You don't want to get caught in that drama.
Yeah. So I just leave it out. I leave that out. I leave religion out. I leave politics out. And, I fuck around with what's left.
Fat Glide has entered the chat. Fat Glide's been here. He came late to the party.
But for chasing ghosts, I'd say, just record what you like, record what you want to see. Yep. And then hope that there's an audience.
People that want to watch it.
Yeah.
I'm creating a video library, and I keep all my videos on an external drive.
Yep.
And when I want to rewatch a video like I did today, I plugged in my external drive, and it was, when I took my crate motor and I tore it apart and threw parts in the garbage, like the camp plate, the whole camp chest and valve springs and rocker arms. I rewatched it today because I wanted to see it again. But I watched it locally because I don't want to fluff my views or watch time hours.
Yeah. And that totally makes sense. And like, I honestly don't care if I watch my video on YouTube if my one view is going to be the thing that fluffs my numbers, apparently my numbers weren't that big to begin with.
Well, there's a big difference between your channel and mine. I mean, I'm a lot smaller of a channel, I want all my views and all my watch time hours to be legitimate views and watch time hours.
Yeah, and I think everyone should want that. And I know in the past people have bought like views and stuff, and that's always a fun thing.
Yeah. I mean, we've had some fairly large channels tune in tonight. I have a lot of respect for those channels,
Absolutely.
And how could you not? I mean, one, I respect them as a person and respect them as a friend and everything, but I also respect them as a creator by coming out and hanging out with all the smaller channels.
Yep.
I mean, I'll throw it out there. I'll name him Professional Monkey. Here's a guy who's 100,000+ subscribers. It's a huge channel in our community.
Mm-hmm.
And, Monkey's a friend of mine. I hung out with Monkey and he shows up, on my lives. He watches my videos. I know he does because he talks to me about it when I saw him. He's actually mentioned me in a couple of his videos. I was watching Dr.Harley's video about this, and this. And I really appreciate him for doing that. I appreciate every view, but I find it kind of ego stroking that such a large channel of somebody I've been following long before I thought about doing YouTube is watching my stuff. And I'm like, wow, that's kind of cool.
It's the same, like, when I mentioned before, like Cyclophonex and stuff, I don't even know what number he's at right now, honestly.
I think he's like at 113,000. John, he's a good dude. I've met him a couple of times. He's a good dude.
I messaged him. I will message him random in the day. I will just shoot a DM. And most of my stuff is dumb as fuck when I mention it. Like when I message him, it is nothing worth responding to. And every time that dude responds, it's like, and even another one I could say, I messaged Adam Sandoval a few times, and that dude will respond to you every time.
Yeah.
And
Adam's a good dude,
I asked him to do something once as more or less a favor. And he's like, all right, I got you. And he did it. It's like, that's fucking cool, man. It's like, I've met that dude like 2 or 3 times. I've talked to him like a total of like 15 minutes or some shit. And I hit him up one time, like, hey, can you do this for me? He's like, all right. And, like stuff like that's great. I love seeing that. And like I said, like that's why like I've had people shoot me messages. I mean, I had a creator like maybe a few weeks ago say that a company approached him about doing a review, and he got the contract he had to sign, and he wasn't so sure about it, and he was wondering if I could read the contract through with him and give him my feedback. And I was like, sure, man, like anything I can do to help. I've gone through chats for like hours with people on like, what I do for my editing, what I use for my camera, what I use for my settings. And like, if I can give back at any point, I will. I mean, I'm totally down with that.
Yeah. Yeah. And Road Reality says sometimes a cigar is just a cigar. Oh, Kelp Fire for the win. Tell that to Bill Clinton. Or tell it to Monica.
Hey, man, if she wants to add a little flavor to the cigar, I'm okay with that.
Hey, she's the humidor. But that I'm gonna call this. If anybody's got anything they want to, ask John, sorry, Ben.
As soon as John comes on.
Yeah. If anybody has anything they want to ask Ben, I'm going to give you roughly about another 5-10 minutes to ask your questions in the side chat directly to Ben, and I'll make sure he answers because he's that kind of guy.
All answers are gonna be like, no, fuck you.
There you go. General. Well, I did have a request from Dallas about doing my H2 performance commercial. And it's simple. If you don't ride H2, well, fuck you.
It's
It rhymes.
funny. I like Kawasaki's a lot. Like I said, I had a Ninja for like 10 years.
Yep.
And it's funny because when John from Psycho Fanatics got his Busa, he was really excited about it. And I literally honestly start pricing H2s because I'm like, I'm just that kind of dick where I'm like, I want to go buy a bike just so I can go down there and be like, all right, so you want to race or what, dude? Just
riding on threes, you could always go back and rewatch the replay. That's the beauty part of it. And thank you, Dean. I appreciate your support. You know, I had a lot of fun with Ben tonight. Dallas says thanks. That was his request.
So the one girl has been going for like 3 years now. Like I think I actually started the one girl joke on in my first video actually, and it's continued ever since. So I will put this out there as a Thanksgiving treat. I will give you an answer on who the one girl is. If you ever take the time to look at metrics, girls don't watch channels like mine. So you get like maybe one girl that's watching. So that's why the one girl changes every single like video that I mention her, because it's like every topic is different. So it's that one girl who happened upon that topic for like God knows what reason, and that's why she's there.
Yeah, there you go.
And have a good one, Dale. And thank you for all that you do. You were awesome, dude. We got to get together at the Red Arrow and have a coffee again sometime soon.
Yep. And this summer, I'd like to right up your way. Maybe I'll grab Rhodey and we'll hang out and have a beer, or just go for a rip.
I'll take you a few of the breweries up here that are really good.
There you go.
We'll coax Dave out. It's funny. So Dale, like last year, Dale was awesome. I hit him up a few times to come riding and stuff because he's like, if you're going out, let me know. And I hit him up for the Laconia stuff.
Mm-hmm.
The first day he came out, he met up at the stop that we had in like Hooksett, New Hampshire. He rode up with us. He hung out with us for a little bit, and then he broke off to go hang out with some other people, and we're cool with that. It was like, I always do the everyone can ride with us, break off whenever you want. I don't care. And that was awesome. It was great seeing him. I hadn't seen him in a little while and stuff. And then a little bit the next day, he showed up at the same Hooksett stop because we were doing the meetup again. I was like, oh, cool, you're riding up? And he's like, no, I just want to come over here and say hi to you, and then I'm going to take off. And I'm like, dude, that's so awesome. Thanks, man.
Jason goes, it does not affect the passenger foot pegs. I've had 2 different 2-in-1 exhausts on my Lowrider S, which is the same thing as the ST, except for the fairing. Yeah, no interference or any problem with that.
So, Corey, I haven't been to the one with the golf course yet. That's actually, I kind of want to go Friday. That was kind of one of my plans. I went to the original treehouse. I actually did a video on that. You can find that on my channel. That was my first time going there, and I wanted to go to the original, and it was awesome.
If Corey's available with Rhodey and I'll grab Corey. I'll make sure Corey comes along too.
Yeah, do it up. And then John, yes, suspension technologies is that good. I could say, so the first year I did Tail of the Dragon, I only had the rear suspension. And I had a little bit of trouble keeping up with Doyle. Doyle is fast. And then the second year I had front and rear suspension from Suspension Technologies, and that was like really the only thing I changed on my bike. And I felt so much more connected to the road. It was insane. There were a few times I actually had to slow down because I almost like rubbed tires with Doyle.
So do you have the Black Hills or the RT?
I think I have the Black Hills. Honestly, I went there and I was like, Mike, you put in what you think is right. Like when I did the rear suspension, they asked me a couple questions. I answered them, and they're like, cool, we're gonna put on the ones that we think are right for you. When I went back and did the front ones, I'm like, just do the fronts, and they're like, all right. And at that point in time, I'd known them for a while, so Peanut's like, yeah, we'll take care of this.
John, just grab your suspension, come to the house, we'll get it done. You've seen my lives, you've seen videos of me doing Corey's and Roadies and mine. Just come on down, we'll get it done.
Yeah, and I mean, ask Sean as well, like UCM Pigs, because I got him to do the rears when he was up here for Laconia, and that dude will sing its praise as well. Like I have never had anyone who I've convinced to put that suspension in upset that they did it. Like every single person was like, this stuff is amazing. I'm so glad you like talked me into it.
So Mel says, if you like whiskey, Berkshire Mountain Distillery, it's one of my favorites. I did a video on that. Didn't do well, but I don't care. I had a great time going up there, and there's a brewery up the road that we went to for lunch, and how can you go wrong?
I'll have to check it out. I mean, really the only place I've been that had like for whiskey was like I went to Jack Daniel's like 2 years ago, and that place is awesome.
Let me know if you want to go there. We'll hook up, we'll ride, we'll have a good time. You get a flight of whiskey, and they're like very tiny tastes, but it's good.
So that's why you got to go to Jack Daniel's. They do the flight as well, but you get more than a tiny taste. It's pretty awesome.
Yeah. See, Corey says, if you come to me, if John comes to me, he'll swing down.
Nice. Yeah, we'll do it up. Yeah, I mean, if you've never been to Treehouse, check out my Treehouse video. It's like I said, it's the original location, but they treat all their locations exactly the same. The one he mentioned is one that they bought that was an old golf course that they converted. And it's just it's an amazing place. Like their beer is incredible, and they are just awesome. They are one of the best breweries. They are so good.
Nice. That's awesome. So yeah, there's we could go to the distillery, then we'll go to the brewery for lunch, and then it's right on Route 7 in the Berkshires, which is a nice riding area. The ride there is great. The riding around there is great. You really can't complain.
That's always a good thing, then. I'm always down for that.
I have spreadsheets and
we'll figure something out for the spring for sure. I'd be down for that.
Yeah, man. We'll have a good time. You might like titanium better.
Oh, Trillium.
They do have scotch, they do have vodka, they do have gin at the Berkshire Mountain Distillery. So it's not just bourbon.
I was out there over the summer, and I wish I knew it was there.
And they can only use whiskey barrels twice to cure whiskey, and then you can't use them anymore for that. So they cure maple syrup in those whiskey barrels, and it is the best maple syrup I ever had. I enjoyed it so much. I sent the bottle to my friend Monkey, and I told him, be careful. It's mind-altering, life-changing, and you could never have enough.
Very nice. Very nice.
My wife's a big Jack Daniel's fan. All right. Happy Thanksgiving to you, UCM Pigs. Yeah. See, even Dean says Suspension Technology. And the Triglide, nice.
They are. I mean, I can't say enough good things. And again, Suspension Technology is another one that I don't have any sort of ambassadorship with them, nothing like that. They're just
They don't do that.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, it's funny because crap, I'm spacing on his name now. It's not Mike, it's not Peanut. It's damn, I can't remember his name. So there's one other dude that's always with him. And he pulled me aside one day. He's like, "You know what I like about you?" And I was like, "What's that?" He's like, "You do the YouTube videos and all that stuff, but you've never tried to get anything free from us." And I'm like, I'd rather have it this way because, when I say I like you guys and I think you're great, there's nothing in it for me.
Yeah. I always say I promote companies and products that I believe in.
Yeah, exactly.
And I can be corrected. I used to believe and support Legend Suspension until I installed and wrote on suspension technologies. And, hey, changed my life, changed my mind that, suspension technology over stock is great, but then again, progressive is great over stock.
A couple springs out of a ballpoint pen are better over stock. Harley suspension sucks.
But the best suspension that I've personally ridden on and installed is suspension technologies.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah,
I got a client coming down. I'm going to be doing Olin's because he was stuck on Olin's. Okay, that's what you want. That's what you want. I'm not going to twist your arm.
Yep, that's fair.
I could show you different avenues, make suggestions, but at the end of the day, it's the client's final decision of what they want.
Absolutely. Well, fair enough. Well, thanks for having me out, man. Very much appreciate it.
All right. Chasing Ghost suspensions for our Softails will be out next month. So watch for that.
Yep.
And with all that, Ben, I'm going to give you the final say in the final moment. It's all you.
Stop by my channel and watch the chaos. It's just a whole bunch of dumb fuckery. And thanks to Dr. Harley for having me out, and thanks for everyone that's hung out in the side chat and put up with my shit tonight.
Well, I think everybody puts up with your shit because it's so entertaining. And, you are a true, honest person, and you don't fluff things up and say, hey, they sent me this. Go buy this. This is awesome. No, you say, hey, I have this. I have a discount code. I've used this. They've replaced it for nothing to give me the updated one, and it's great.
Yeah.
But with all that being said, thank you very much, Ben, for coming on tonight. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate you and everything you're doing on your channel. I enjoy it. It fills me with some laughter during the day at my job when you put stuff out. And with all of that, all right, I want everybody in the side chat and you, happy Thanksgiving. Calories don't count tomorrow. Live the best life you can. Ride often and ride hard.